What's up, Picks and Parlay family? It's me, Detroit Lenny, here with another episode of the Parlay Party. Or not Parlay Party, I'm sorry, I just recorded that. This isn't the Parlay Party. This is the Bet Win Repeat Show. Literally just recorded that, so I have that on my mind. Couple guests we're going to have today. We're going to have Ross Benjamin on the show, Nick Parsons. I apologize, so I'm a little under the weather. So there's that. What up, Rickett? What's going on, my friend? What's going on with you? Hope everything's good on your end. Betwin Repeat Show, Ross Benjamin, Nick Parsons, be on the show, talk a little sports action today, what they got going on in the NBA playoffs, in the NHL playoffs, and in the MLB. That's in full swing as well. So don't forget about the Picks and Parlay app. That is there, scrolling down below. If you haven't already, need to jump on there, download that app. It's free. KBO says KBO plus money, getting it done for the monthly contest. Get it done. I even put my picks in today. I've been moving slow. I got a couple. I think I got one cracked rib and one broke rib. I don't know. That's how that works. So it was just a miserable night sleeping. Couldn't get comfortable. One of those things. Toss, turn, toss, turn, toss, turn, toss, turn. Repeat. But it's all good in the hood. Let's bring up the contest update. Weekly contest is a full effect here. This is the weekly contest for $100. Eddie Lance won the last one for $200 because that was a rollover. So now we're in this. 18 people still left. Record-breaking. Over 1,000 people entered. But we got 18 on day 2. Some guy from Detroit, Brian Gillihan, Paul Thatcher, David Carsey, Daniel Alexander, David Allen, Tim Tim T-Time. I get it. I see what you did there. T-Time Pierce, Velco, Eddie E. Lance, repeat winner. Troy Akers, another Troy. I don't want to butcher your name. Troy Cabral? I don't know. I apologize. Alan Miles, Rodney Molina, Julie Carley, Anthony Salvato, Nikki Lacole. I think that's how you say that name. Al White, Greg Jones. A couple new faces in there. A lot of repeat offenders, as we call it. But that's what's going on in the weekly. No update on the monthly yet. It just started. So we'll probably do that. A monthly update on the show. I'll probably do that on like Friday with Tim and Nick will be on Friday. We're going to do that. That's like the Friday schedule. Me, Tim, Nick. It'd be like game time decision, but just on Fridays. But that's the weekly contest update. So let's get that out of here. What else we got going today? I don't know why I'm on one side. Why am I on one side? I don't understand it. Maybe, I don't know. It's whatever. I don't know. I'm just hitting buttons at this point. I go like that. We got some Mets going on today. Tigers. No early baseball. It's weird this morning. There's no early baseball, and I know it's Tuesday, so like whatever. There usually isn't, but I like my early baseball. Gives me something to listen to while I'm working in the morning. If you want to call it work. Not really a whole lot. I'm recording the parlay part, or just recorded the parlay party. I haven't posted it yet, so bear with me on that. It'll be up here within the hour as soon as it shows down. It's just a matter of taking me 2 minutes. I just gotta actually post it, and all that. But sneak peek on that. It's the Mets. It's the Mets all week against Tigers. I am on the Twitter. Listen, I don't mean to be that guy, but I feel like we're up 50, just over 15 units for the month of April for our parlays. Okay, so we're up 15 units there in the month of April. We're on the May. We didn't have one yesterday. We didn't like a whole lot yesterday, so no, I didn't do it. But I hate to say it, but I am that guy that's just picking on the AL Central. Pretty much any team that's playing there, except the Twins, because Twins are hot. Other than the Twins and the Guardians in spots, those two teams. But the Tigers, White Sox, Royals. You hear the chair? Just me betting against Tigers. Bet, win, repeat. That's how that chair's even telling me. Bet, win, repeat, bet against Tigers. That's what the chair's telling me, so I'm going to do it. Yeah, nobody's awake yet. I don't know why. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Get up, people. Ross will wake you the hell up. Ross Benjamin, everybody. Ross Benjamin. How we doing, Ross? How's it going?
Hey, it's all good, Lenny. Always a pleasure to see you.
Yes, sir. Ross, nobody's awake yet, so we're trying to wake them all up, get them up, smack them up, get some coffee in them. I'm the same way. I've tossed and turned. I don't know what it was last night. It was just one of those nights where you sleep and you just can't get comfortable.
Yeah,
that was where I was last night. So,
Yeah, no, I hear you, man. I had a similar type evening last night, and I'm not sure why. I had a winning pick with the Denver Nuggets. That was my only pick. So
I didn't have a whole lot going on yesterday.
Yeah, there wasn't.
Weird day.
Yeah. It's that time of year, Lenny. Now we're down to 4 NBA playoff series, 4 NHL playoff series in Major League Baseball. And as you know, with Major League Baseball, sometimes you have the abbreviated schedules because teams have days off.
Yeah.
So it's that time of year.
Can't hate it. Just got to adapt. That's our business. Yeah, adapting,
exactly,
adjusting. I mean, if it was easy, everybody'd be doing it.
We're all on an equal playing field when it comes to that, Lenny. You know,
exactly. So, Ross, how you been doing? How was your weekend, though? I know you're crushing things on the site and everything like that, but talk to us a little bit about what you got going on today. You said I know you text me, said you had some info for the group here. I'm just gonna read.
Got a couple free.
I'm gonna try and read my text with my glasses on, which I can't do. So I gotta old man this stuff right here.
Yeah, I got MLB free pick for the folks on the show here today, and also an NBA free pick. A total on the Lakers in Golden State. Like I said, I won with Denver last night, laying the points, and that makes me 18-8 with the combination of my money line and point spread picks in the NBA postseason since that began on the 11th of April. So real good there, Lenny. Can't complain. And Major League Baseball on a nice run, 7-3 over my last 10. In all sports, I'm currently on a 9-4 run. So things are good, and you can get all those picks right at my page at picksandparlays.net, Lenny.
Don't forget, use that promo code MLB. That'll save you 20% off the entire site. When you're over at Picks and Parlays, you're looking for Ross Benjamin's free or premium plays. This is the free play stuff. That's premium plays are on the site. What do you like today? You said you mentioned the Lakers Warriors game. To me, like, I'm an in-play better. I know you're not necessarily an in-play better, but like I like to. Games like these with this kind of magnitude, I'll say that. Like, I like to look at it and I like to like watch it and kind of see where the momentum is going on the game sometimes. And I won't say this. I'm not a huge in-play bettor, but pick and choose. Where if I'm watching a game, I tend to bet on it, but I don't watch a lot of games. I don't. That's another question I have for you. You can't watch every game you bet on, but
no, you can't. I watch as much as I can. You know, I know that even in a short time you've been in this industry, that it's a difficult chore in balancing your sports handicapping world and sports betting world with family life. You know, especially somebody like yourself, younger than me, with a lot of kids. So but I try to watch as much as possible, Lenny. So I do a podcast myself. My own show on top of, being a guest here and stuff. So it's always nice to know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? Above and beyond just the numbers. So
that's my excuse for my wife when she tells me I'm watching too much. I'm like, babe, it's work. I gotta know what to talk about. Everybody's gonna be talking about this tomorrow. What am I gonna be, the guy that doesn't know anything? I'm like, come on.
Exactly.
That's my excuse. But realistically, I'm just.
But then you could always say, I'm giving you bad advice here. You can always tell the wife. I lost last night because I didn't watch the games and I spent time with you. See?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know how much I sacrificed for his relationship?
I tell her all the time.
Don't follow my advice on that
I know.
because I gave up on that excuse a long time ago.
It's funny. I kind of half-heartedly used that excuse the other night. She wanted to go to dinner. I think it was like, I don't know, over the weekend at some point, Friday or Saturday, with the kids. And I'm like, it was like 2 Game 7s are on, Mandy. How many times am I going to get Game 7? It was 2 on the same night. Yeah. And then she's like, oh, okay. So we ended up going the next day, like kind of thing, where there was only one. And I'm like, see, and I lost the one bet. And I'm like, see, if I would have watched that game, I could have in-played it, made that money back up.
Yeah,
and then
none of us.
She's on one.
There's only one being is that powerful, and it's neither one of us. So
yeah, that's true. And I was she's onto my game. She just looks at me like, okay, Leonard. He hits me with the Leonard, not that even the Leonard. It's okay, Leonard. And I'm like, that's when I know I've reached my limit.
Yeah.
I mean, time to back off the bets. Back off on her.
My nickname is Roy when I was a kid, so I get hit up with okay, Roy.
Yeah.
When she's pissed,
Yeah.
So
okay.
Yeah. So I try to reduce the time she calls me that these days.
Yeah.
And I've done quite well. So I'm winning the under on that one.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an active. It's an active wager, and sometimes that future looks really good. Sometimes I don't know on my end. She might. I don't know. I always.
How about the NHL playoffs, Lenny? Well, what about the NHL playoffs? The Bruins going down, the Rangers going down. Boy, Colorado, the defending champ, going down.
I didn't see the Colorado. I was skeptical about the Boston Bruins. I said people, I think they peaked. They did too well. Too much pressure on them to move into the playoffs. Too good in the regular season, if that's even a thing.
Yeah, I know.
Play too well, but
makes sense though.
Yeah, and then you get into the playoffs, and there's so much pressure now because you were the best team to ever assembled in the regular season. If anything less than a cup is a failure, and then you get a first round, and they look rattled in Game 7.
Yeah,
they did. They 100%, as opposed to like last night, the Devils looked very comfortable.
They looked terrific. I tell you, their team speed is what really impressed me.
Oh my God, they're fast.
Holy cow!
They remind me of Colorado last year.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen them a couple times against Buffalo this year because that's my local team. But the bottom line is I don't recall them having that overall team speed that I witnessed last night. And if that's what we're going to see coming up, they're going to be a tough out. I mean, they got a tough series coming up, Lenny. Carolina's no joke. So
I think it's another one of those. I think we're going to get a Game 7 there.
Yeah.
And I honestly think you could flip the coin when it comes to Game 7 sometimes.
Yeah. Low scoring series, possibly, maybe.
Yeah. A lot of draws. I'll be throwing half units at draws because I can get those plus 300s. So a little half units. I'll probably bet the draw. I did this on what series did I do that on? I forget the first series though, but I bet it the first 4 games. I just bet the draw, and I hit it twice. And all you really got to do is hit it twice to be profitable. And in the playoffs, this would be low scoring, grinded out hockey. I mean, we saw some big hits last night. The captain from the Rangers.
Boy, that guy from the Rangers leveled that kid in the third period.
At first, my initial reaction was, "Oh, that's dirty as hell."
Yeah.
And then when I saw the replay, how they do that in slow motion, they show you every angle of it. I realized that it's a good, clean, old school hockey.
Yeah, I mean, the guy lowered his head too, Lenny. So those saying he hit his head with his shoulder, you got to, and the NHL gets it right when it comes to reviewing that kind of stuff. Yeah. In the NFL, how many times have we seen a blow to the head called? And what was the defender supposed to do when a guy is got his head down and he's running behind his shoulder pads? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. That's why I tell you in the NFL, man, I don't care, from every level. My 5th grader plays football, and they tell him, keep your head on a swivel. It's like the first thing they teach you, keep your head up.
And hit with it, see what you hit. You know what I mean?
See what you hit.
Yeah.
Run through it and see what you're hitting. That's that's how when I help coach or whatever, I just tell them, run through
Yeah,
shit.
but through the course of a game, sometimes whether it be adrenaline or just like what we saw last night, it's unfortunate the kid had his head lowered and he didn't see. I can't think.
He saw
Trouba?
stars. That's
Jacob
what he saw.
Trouba, I believe, was
Trouba. I think I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right though. The guy
Yeah,
from Rangers,
yeah.
but
So
he's known for that.
yeah,
but I don't think that makes.
but
him
he's not known for being dirty. If you listen to the broadcast,
exactly.
Yeah.
Like I want that guy on my team.
Yeah.
I don't want to play against that guy. He's just he's a big guy. And back in the day, the Red Wings had a guy called Nicholas Cronwall.
I remember.
And they just called him the Wall because when he hit you, it was like that, and you just like ran into a wall. Multiple highlights on YouTube and stuff. You just see his face like when he just ran right into a wall, man. And
who was prolific at that, and I don't know I'm sure you remember him, Scott Stevens, the old New Jersey Devil.
Yeah.
He
and you got hit by him. You remembered it.
Yes, he used to crush people. And that's before they really started being stringent on these head hits. So
yeah, anyway. That's true too.
Yeah,
that is true too. How do you like the MLB slate today?
How do I like the MLB slate? I went through it and I really don't like it.
I don't either. Okay, great.
I mean, look, if you want to make obvious plays, certainly you could do so. I mean, you would think the Twins, even laying the run line, would be an easy play, but there's so much money that way. I just can't pull the trigger on when a team is seeing 80% of the money go their way and 80% of the bets beside. Chicago's terrible, and the White Sox are coming on. You realize the White Sox have not won back-to-back games all season long?
I picked them to win the division. That's how horrible I feel about the.
Well, I mean, it's almost like that division. You would have made a pick by default, right? Because there's nobody that's overwhelming in that division right now. Yeah, Minnesota is a little bit red hot right now, but by the same token, they're playing in the AL Central. They're 8-2 within their own division.
Could be red hot there.
Yeah, they're 8-2 within their own division, Lenny, and they're one game below against everybody else. And then you look at the Cubbies, look like a good play. But again, the lopsided money margin scares me away. So I mean, Washington 3-12 at home this year, and 7-6 on the road. Go figure that. So and what else? Atlanta, Miami.
Right.
I mean, usually I would use look to use Alcantara, but he's been shaky a little bit at times this year, and not very impressive to start the year. Not what we're used to,
Yeah, not as dominant as we've seen before.
Right, and Miami 16-13 on the season, but it's a false 16-13. Lenny, if you look at the run differential. And we talked about this on my show the other day, and I'm going to bring it up with you and see your thoughts. When you see a team that's 16-13 like the Marlins, but they've been outscored by 35 runs combined on the year, that's to me a red flag goes up.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you just you're
winning. Dive more deep into that. Yeah, something's going on there. Either they're
when they're losing, they're getting blown out. You know what I mean? And to me, the overall success of a team is you're not going to be able to sustain even that 16-13 pace being outscored at the rate you are.
No.
Quite frankly, with that,
you're not going to win anything with that.
No. Yeah. So, and to me, Atlanta's the easy winner in the NL East when it's all said and done. So we'll see. But I do have a free pick. On the Phillies and the Dodgers.
Yes.
If I could share that with the audience, Lenny. All right. So we got Matt Stram and Julio Urias going for the Dodgers, a pair of left-handers, and neither one of these teams has fared well against lefties this year. As a matter of fact, the Dodgers are 2-6 versus left-handed starters, and in those games, they only averaged 3 runs per contest and a horrible 170 team batting average. While Philadelphia, on the other hand, 3-5 versus lefties while averaging a mere 2.6 runs per game. Now, Urias has struggled on the road, but at home, he's been terrific. I mean, 3 home starts, a 2.04 ERA, a 1.02 whip. The Dodgers bullpen, after getting off to a terrible start to the year, is starting to regroup a little bit. Right. 3.46 ERA, 1.23 whip over the last 7. You could win with that. It's not great. Not what we're used to from a Dodgers bullpen, but still more than respectable. Matt Strahm, the lefty from Philadelphia, he's been a surprise. I mean, 2.42 ERA and 0.85 whip in 5 starts. And the Phillies bullpen, who I thought when the year started and looking at their numbers, it was like, here we go again. The Phillies are going to be one of those teams that could hit. Right. They got good starting pitchers, but their bullpen is definitely a weakness. But you know what? That's not been the case late. Yeah. 2.62 ERA, 1.04 whip through the previous 7 games. And the Phillies, believe it or not, have gone under the total in 10 of their last 13. So the number is 8. I think that's a justified number. I'm going to go Phillies Dodgers under 8, looking for both pitchers to get close, if not 6+ innings out of both starting pitchers, and look for the bullpens to tidy things up at the end, and maybe a 3-2, 3-1 type of final score. Phillies Dodgers under 8. Excuse me.
Under 8. Yeah, under 8. I see you get away with a 4-3 there. You know, 5-2 game, you can get away with that. And to be honest with you, because if you get it, I like it at 8. At 7.5.
Which we see some out there, right?
We see some out there, right? I like the 8s because then I have the security net of pushing.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
You always shop your lines, folks. We say that all the time. If you don't have multiple sports bet books, shop your lines. You see, get the best number you can for you. You know,
absolutely.
Absolutely. Don't forget, you're over at picksandparlays.net. Use that promo code MLB, save you 20% off of all Ross's stuff, all his premium plays. Guys, he's been around since they started betting on sports, and that's not an old guy joke. That's just like Ross is like the OG godfather of this stuff. Okay, he's the wagons that I try to circle to be like. Okay, he's what we're all doing here, folks. That's what's going on.
Yeah,
Ross Benjamin, everybody.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Ross, we appreciate
one more for you, if you don't mind.
Yeah, no.
You got time for one more?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, the Lakers and Golden State, game 1 tonight. Look, the Lakers. The Lakers in the postseason, including that play-in game against Minnesota, they're only allowing 104 points per game and 40.6% shooting. And even further than that, the Lakers in their postseason games this year are allowing just 19 free throw attempts per contest. And that's extremely low by NBA standards.
Yeah.
So I like to look at that when I'm looking at a total, and especially if I'm leaning toward the under like I'm doing here. In the playoffs, they're 5-2 to the under. The average combined scores have been 215.9. Golden State's defense during the playoffs, they look their numbers look askew when you look at the 113 points scored per game. But remember, they faced Sacramento, who's number 1 in adjusted offense and number 1 or number 2 in offensive pace. Right. That's not the type of opponent they're going to see here, although the regular season statistics would suggest the Lakers play at a faster pace. I've not seen that to be the case during the playoffs. They seem to be more inclined to settle into a half-court offense and utilize Anthony Davis and go through him.
Yeah.
So, again, regular season meetings all went under, and between these two teams, the 2 regular season meetings in Golden State both went under. And also Golden State 13-4 to the under at home this year when they're facing a team with a winning record like the Lakers. So I'm going to go with the theme here of unders in the playoffs on this particular contest and go with Lakers, Golden State under. I got 228, Lenny. Okay. I don't know what else is out there. I haven't looked in about an hour, but
I see
anywhere in that area.
I see a 227.5, but 228. Like I said, shop your lines. Whenever anybody tells me anything or asks me anything about handicapping sports, I tell them you need multiple sports books.
I would say this: 226 or above, take the under.
Okay.
So who knows what kind of line movement we're going to see, in the coming hours. I don't think it will come down that low just because of, Golden State's reputation at home and the high flying offense and Stephen Curry and the rest of that bunch and LeBron on the other side, but we'll see.
I appreciate that. That's Ross Benjamin giving you some gems there. Some free picks as always, Ross. We appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, use the promo code MLB. 20% off the entire site. Ross Benjamin, everybody. Picksandparlays.net. Thanks, Ross. I appreciate you stopping by. We'll see you next Tuesday. Buddy.
All right. Thank you so much, Lenny. You take care. Have a great week.
You too, man. Take care. All right, guys. We're not done. We got Nick Parsons coming in and bring him in right now. How we doing, Mr. Parsons?
Not bad. How about you guys?
I was chilling with, Ross Benjamin. I know you saw him. He's always got some free stuff for us. I know you got a couple of free picks as well for us. But I was looking forward today because I like to talk NHL. And there's only a handful of us that could really, really talk NHL. And I know Ross touched base on it, and I'm not saying he can't talk NHL, but no, it's not like talking NHL with the Canadians. Ross is really close, though, up there in Buffalo. He's in upstate New York, so he might as well be Canadian. What do you like today on the ice, my friend? There's some good game ones going on.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's been an interesting playoff so far, an interesting overall season for us. I mean, it's been a really good second half for the Insiders room, and especially over the last month and a half, we're hitting 65% with our plays. Nice. We're actually coming off a big winner in last night's game. I gave out the under 5.5 goals in that game 7, New Jersey and the Rangers there. So I had the under 5.5 as a client play. Then I also gave out the Devils as a free play. So coming off the 2-0 in that game last night. And so, I mean, there have been some really crazy upsets in the NHL. I don't know if you and Ross touched on any of those, but of course, the biggest one there was Boston going down in 7 games to Florida. The Panthers taking out the Bruins. Mm-hmm. They did have the 2-0 series lead in that. Boston set a whole bunch of regular season records this year. And having the 2-0 lead there, I mean, you could people are going to argue that this is the biggest NHL playoff upset in history. Mm-hmm. So, I
think it's good. I think you could arguably make this a point for biggest meltdowns. Honestly, I watched that game 7. I watched every game. I'll be honest with you. I'm not like I didn't watch whatever. I watched every game of that particular series, and Boston looked rattled. Once Florida knew that they were in their head, it was game on. And
and then
game 7 really showed that. Like they looked, even when they scored, they look okay. Like I think we can still do it. And then Florida was not phased.
Well, you're talking about Canadians, and just a lot of the Canadians up here in Canada, they're going to, of course, be supporting the Leafs. And so, Lenny, that Boston going out is actually a really good thing for me and my clients. If you recall, I actually gave out Toronto to win the Stanley Cup before the season started. And so Toronto, of course, got by its arch nemesis in Tampa Bay in 6 games. Yeah. And so that was really big too, because they hadn't won a playoff series since 2004. Now, the difference, though, between Florida and Toronto, which they are now going to be playing, that first game goes tomorrow night, is that Toronto was favored to actually win that series against. It's tonight.
Yeah,
right.
Florida, Toronto,
Yeah, and so the difference there being, though, Toronto was actually favored to win that series. And so while it was a huge monkey off their back, they were expected to do that. Florida went 7 games, wasn't expected to do that, wasn't expected to pull off the biggest playoff upset in history. And so if you don't mind laying some chalk, I think that Toronto's worth a look. You got to just sort of depend on that price, but also consider laying that 1.5. I do like Toronto tonight in that first game. I just think that Florida is gassed here.
Yeah, I think Florida it has to be gassed. And that was a great series from Florida. I think they got outcoached. Boston did. I think they got outplayed and they just got rattled. And everybody can talk about all the physicality and the talent around a team and this and that.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to talk about a mindset. And if you're not in the right mindset, you saw what happened. So, and another surprise is the Seattle Kraken.
Exactly. I was going to lead into that with Colorado out. Perhaps this is the year of destiny for Toronto. So.
I had the Avs to win to repeat. I really did.
Yeah.
And obviously, I did not see the Kraken coming, but now
no one has. No one has all year. That's the thing. Yeah.
That sea monster is. Now, how do you feel on that series with the Dallas Stars? I'll let you talk on that. I'm going to close my bedroom window because the guy across the street decided
no problem.
Jackhammer his front lawn real quick or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to moving forward with less and less games. Of course, the line's getting more and more sharp. At some point, as you and I have discussed, Lenny, we sort of all become the public no matter what because there's just so few games, different choice. There's not as many choices, but I guess it will have to take that one by game basis. But in this game one here, I think you have to wonder if rest is going to lead to rust for Dallas. Seattle is just fantastic on the road. It's been fantastic on the road all year. And so my sort of lean in that one, in that game one, and as I say, we'll take it game by game basis, is if you can get it at a decent price, is Kraken on the puck line option.
I'm just gonna look that up real quick here. I also, if I played the draw in this game, I really think in this series we're gonna see a few draws in this Kraken Dallas. Dallas is prone to they smother. That's how they do. They just smother. They're defensive oriented, and they just play keep away. They have no problem winning 1-0. Out. The longer the grind, advantage Dallas, in my opinion. If Seattle can get out, and I know Rickett just says the Kraken scored their first 8 games in a row now. They've scored first.
Wow.
So that's crazy. If they can get out to a lead and make Dallas play from behind, which we saw in the Colorado series.
Exactly. Put the pressure on them.
A lot of pressure. I don't hate that. I don't right now you can get, the Kraken, it's just as juiced as if you like Dallas money line or something like that, if you're willing to bet that juice at -170, you could probably get the puck line 165 you can get on DraftKings.
Yeah.
It's not horrible. For me, at this point, you're going to have, if you like a team, you're going to have to lay some juice or you're going to get a lot of plus money. You're either one way or the other kind of thing. See, the draw is +310, and there's a half a unit waiting to happen for me on there. Just because I think these games, I don't think we're going to get a lot of blowout situations. Let me just say that.
Yeah, moving forward.
Tighter games.
Yeah.
We've seen Florida.
Yeah, I like that. I like it.
They'll pull the goalie 8 minutes left. They don't have no problem doing shit like that. First period under in the Dallas and Seattle game, David Tokarski says. It's at 5.5. I've seen some people talk about the over in that game.
It's going to be interesting because Seattle, you could typically think as an over team, Dallas more as an under team. So game by game basis, see how this first one goes here. Yeah,
if it was at 6, I'd feel really good about the under. If it was at 5, I'd feel really good about the over. 5.5, it's not a look for me. Florida and Toronto though is at 6.5. Any thoughts on the total on that?
I would lean to the under in that one.
Me too, but I didn't bet it.
Yeah, I think that these are 2 decent defenses. These are 2 tired teams. There's going to be sort of a feel out period to begin with, this. And so I think that's my lean in game one.
That's fair. Let's switch gears a little bit to the round ball of hardcore action in the NBA. I don't know. The NBA, I don't follow that much on on the regular season on a regular basis. So the playoff, I think I know what I'm doing because I had a good first round, and then I don't. I just don't. I was on Denver last night though, so that was good.
There you go. Yeah, well, I mean, it's been for the Insiders Room. It's been another successful overall NBA season, as you know, Lenny, and that's carried over from our best season probably ever from last year. And so the winning on the pro hardwood continues here. But yeah, just like the NHL playoffs, there's been some interesting matchups and a few upsets as well. Both the Lakers and Warriors advancing, and so that's pretty much a dream matchup now for the NBA. And I'm sure the odds makers are hoping the same thing as well. Crazy upsets, the Bucks going out and the Celtics, they look a little bit suspect as well now after losing to Philadelphia in game 1 there. Mm-hmm. So when I'm looking at the landscape of the playoffs, I'm looking at the form of these current teams. Now, you mentioned Denver there just a second ago, and so for me, I'm looking at Denver. It has the world's best player on it right now. It's a really deep and well-coached team. These guys have lots of experience over the last few years in these positions now. It really seems like this is Denver's thing to lose here. It has home court advantage.
I think the West is Denver's to lose.
Yeah, exactly. So at this point, it was
a little bit more up for grabs, I feel.
Yeah, just because Boston looks shaky there Philadelphia. Who knows? Philadelphia.
Who knows? Exactly. Yeah, which Phillies team's going to show up? Which James Harden specifically is going to show up? So,
for Denver, the last few years, it's been health issues with key players and stuff. You know what I mean? And for Philly, it hasn't been really that. It's been more of just classic letdowns and each and every year. Yeah.
I would take Phoenix to win the next. I think they win game 3 in that series.
Yeah, that's always a good one. When you're down 0-2 straight up and against the spread, you're going home. It's do or die for Phoenix.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
You can't go down
if you're ever going to bet them, this is game 3 at home. This is it. You got to.
You have to. And I think the early line on that is like 9. Or no, that's the Celtics game. They don't play till they don't play till Friday.
Right. Yeah. No, it's getting more interspersed now.
Yep.
We're getting down in the second round, and so we're coming down to
just -4, and I don't mind that at all. I mean, I might look at Phoenix first half, something like that.
That's a good call.
I
has to get out to a good start.
Yeah, exactly. You want to come out hot, come out running,
or else you're done. You're done. Yeah.
The Heat and the Knicks is a series that I haven't. I mean, it's only been one game, but I didn't touch anything to do with that other series with either one of their first round picks either.
Yeah, no, I was for both of them. And so, that's a really interesting series as well. Obviously, really low scoring. I wish I had the over in game 1. I didn't. I had a play on the Knicks. Okay. So, I mean, you know what? Miami, it was decent on the road. It's sort of, if you recall, Lenny, the Heat won game 1 against the Bucks in Milwaukee. Then they lost game 2, both straight up and against the spread, then came home and then started winning again. But, I sort of lean on that game. I sort of suspect the same thing. There's no way New York can afford to go down 0-2 straight up and against the spread heading back to Miami against this dangerous team. Jimmy Butler's obviously, he's been carrying the load the last few games. He's been going off. But, I mean, he's got to play perfect for that to happen every single time. And so I think that this is a good opportunity for New York tonight.
I like the Knicks tonight. I do. So take that with a grain of salt, people. Right. NBA guy, take that with a grain of salt, please. Let's switch gears to the MLB. Ross was on earlier, and I mentioned this about the MLB. I didn't like a whole lot yesterday. I had one game yesterday, and it won. So I wasn't, and I don't like a whole lot today. Like, I'm struggling. I'm a big parlay guy, 2-3 teams or whatever. Yeah. I have a few individual bets, like we talked about the AL Central being horrible, and me picking on them kind of, and just taking whoever's playing the AL Central run line. And just, I'm not gonna lie, I made money on that on the MLB this year. And I'm probably going to do that today, but I don't like a lot today. I mean, I know we say, sometimes no bet's the best bet, but like between yesterday and today, now I need some good matchups. I need to bet some stuff. What do you like MLB? How do you feel about it?
It's sort of the same as you guys. I mean, as Ross was saying, there are some like sort of obvious choices and the price is okay, but then you see like a whopping amount of the money and bets. And so that just makes you cringe and fear and stuff when that sort of situation happens. But yeah, I'm sort of maybe finding some value on a total here today instead.
Okay.
And so this is a client play today, Lenny. And so anyone who is happening to watch the show, here you guys go. This is a client play today. So now at first glance, you could call me crazy here because we have two really decent starters going head to head. And each of these clubs has been pretty pedestrian at the plate to start the season. But yeah, you know what? I like the over in the Yanks and the Guardians here. I think that these are just two teams that have really underperformed to this point. I mean, the AL East is crazy competitive. The Yanks ran away with it last year. Tampa, though, got out to that unreal start at the start of the season. So they're number one, and then it's Baltimore. I mean, Toronto's in third at 18-11, and so that tells you how competitive that division is. But as I was saying, the Yanks are 15-15. The Guardians are just 14-15. New York is now desperate to snap a 4-game slide after yesterday's 3-2 loss in this series opener. But yeah, the starters in this game, they've been unreal to this point. But to me, I think that they've been a little too unreal. It's too unrealistic for them to sustain this incredible performance here. So yeah, Tanner Bibby, he's 1-0 with the 1.59 ERA for the Guardians. Garrett Cole, he's 4-0 at the 1.59 ERA for the Yanks. But Lenny, when I'm standing in front of that train here, I think these desperate and hungry teams, they're going to finally get some offense here. I think this over-under line of 7 is a little too low, so I'm going over.
I like it. Mr. Contrarian himself, Nick Parsons. I don't hate it. I mean, honestly, I'll be that guy. Like, I look at this, I see the matchups between the pitchers, I see their ERA. I look at ERA, I look at WHIP, I look at how many innings they actually pitched, their strikeout ratio, stuff like that, their home away, this, that, lefties, righties. I look at all kinds of stuff too. And then I'll look at it and I'll go, oh, well, from initial, just looking at the surface, you would think automatic under. But at 7, I think, this is one of those rare occasions where I think one of these dudes are going to get lit up. I don't know necessarily who.
I'm standing in front of the train as usual.
As usual. No, there's a whole platform you could stand next to the train. You know that, right?
Right.
You can do that. It's not. You're not necessarily against that. Yanks are just sitting everyone already. I think the Yankees are just bound and determined. They're playing scared baseball. I just don't think they want to get hurt. That's how I look at it. First 5 under and bullpens up rough. I don't hate this in that Yankees game. I could see the first 5 going under, both pitchers getting worked, going deeper in pitch counts, and getting pulled, like say 5-6 innings, and then after that, both bullpens unravel, and that's how you get over. I could see that happening as well. Nick Parsons, I appreciate you every time you come on here because it's always a pleasure. Don't forget to check out the Insiders Room on picksandparlays.net. That's where you can get all of Nick Parsons' premium plays, and he just gave you one out for free. This is where you hit the thumbs up button, say thank you. Picksandparlays.net, promo code MLB. That'll save you 20% off the entire website. You're looking for Ross Benjamin, Nick Parsons, any of our other premium handicappers. Use that promo code MLB. Nick Parsons, I appreciate it, man. Let's go do some free picks, shall we?
Let's do it. Thanks,
all right,
Lenny.
we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Good luck unless you're against us.